to Joshua with us while here.
Y'all, thank y'all for joining us for another episode of True Talk. I'll call it Josh Trailer House.
I've been drinking whiskey tonight. Lost my job, can't pay the light. In the morning I'll be alright. 'Cause I've been drinking whiskey all night. I said,
All right, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of True Tall Tales and Whiskey. Tonight we got Cole Risner in here, and he's done some cool stuff. Him and Brandon Cowleys have been friends for a while, so they're going to tell some stories about some of the shit that they've done, and we're just going to talk about some shit. So, Cole, where are you from?
Greenville,
Texas.
right down the road.
Just right down the road.
Big city.
bro.
Yeah.
He lives right by the hangar.
Right by the hangar.
You do live right by the hangar?
No, dude. No.
Oh, shit.
Hell no.
I used to play APA pool tournaments up there, and
Oh,
we'd have to make sure we cut them tournaments off early.
Man, I call it the Neon Moon, though.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
That's
dude.
what I
Some
I'm a
nights
Neon
are
Moon guy.
some nights are fun. Mike Castleberry used to do karaoke out there all the time. Y'all know Mike
Oh,
Castleberry?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he kills that shit every time.
I feel like I played at that place twice when they had two different stages.
Yeah.
They had like the north stage and the south.
Because there was that music festival that we did
It was
called
Bucarachi.
Bucarachi.
Yeah, we had
And
we
you
had
did it.
Bucarachi there. I
Yeah.
played with Jonathan Jeter. I was in Old Bull Gaines at that time.
That's right.
But then I think I played one time with Exit 110. I opened for Exit 110 when the stage was on the south side. Like they had moved the stage closer to the bar. And do y'all remember Exit 110?
Man, I remember that band.
Rovac, right?
Yeah, but I don't remember them moving the stage. That's the
Yeah, they
first-
had the stage over closer to the bar.
Like on the lower area by the
I
pool tables, I
guess,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just a big corner stage.
It's always
Do you
cool.
frequent the hangars there?
Yeah,
It's
well,
still
I said I used to play pool tournaments there for like 5. I played APA tournaments for like 5
I knew
years.
your life was bad, but
Is the
I was
hangar
just
still a
saying.
bar?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I was sad when they closed the rail. Like the rail was cool.
Well, there's still one.
There's a new
No,
one. There's a
it's
new
not
one.
the
It's not the
rail.
same one.
Well, so Cole, backstory for the people that are listening and don't know, Cole plays in a band called Brave Little Howl.
oh yeah.
Which is one of my favorite bands, and I got a random call one day to be in a music video. You remember that? And they said, and this was like I had moved to Austin and been there for a long time, and so when they said we're doing the music video at the Brass Rail, I thought, okay, sweet, I know where that's at. So I showed up at that hotel, and I'm going, this looks just straight up abandoned.
Yeah.
There's no way there's
It's
still a
boarded
band.
up.
there's a new one now.
Yeah. So I just happened. There was somebody, and it's like there's probably somebody always walking or like moseying around that parking lot that just knows when somebody looks lost. They're like, oh, you need to just go up here a little bit.
Yeah, that's always great. An unpaid parking attendant.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
The
Okay.
person's probably selling drugs.
Just squatting in the hotel rooms.
Yeah,
The worst
I'm
directions
free.
He's a nice guy though.
Turn right by my baby mama's house.
All right, so when did you get started in music, and just tell us a little bit about that, I guess.
Man, I grew up in, moved to Greenville at a very early age and started playing guitar out there. There was this old guitar teacher that lived out on your way to Lone Oak. What is it? 69?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trig Ward. He was like this old black guy that like grew up kind of like playing
I
blues
took guitar
music.
lessons from him too.
Okay. Everybody that like knew how to play guitar and ended up having careers in music, I feel like
Learned from him.
yeah, learned from Trig. And like, you know, you go in there and he's like, what do you want to learn? I'm like, I don't care. Like old stuff. He's like, let's do it. You know? And so it's
Hell
like
yeah.
kind of learned about, you know, what it takes to be a musician and how to play guitar and so forth. And then grew up there and was in a couple bands and graduated high school and then started doing the solo like singer-songwriter thing and try to figure out like how to write songs and kind of like kept doing that for a while. And ever since I've just been like a working, hustling musician. you
Hell
know.
yeah. I mean, now you're playing bass for the Weathered Souls, right?
I'm playing bass for Weathered Souls, and then also play bass in a band called Brave Little Howl. And then occasionally I'll do like my own thing, you know, write my own songs and sing those live and, pop into Sweetwater, on a random Wednesday or Tuesday night.
Yeah,
Tuesday, wasn't
gets
it?
forced into playing some tunes.
It's not that hard, right? I act like it is, but as long as there's a guitar there.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
I
And then
guess.
Just
gotta
fucking kills it.
Bribe him with one beer that he pays for himself.
Yeah, for real,
Hey, don't
dude.
let the secret
I got
out,
it.
man. You gotta pretend like it's a pain in your
Yeah. But that's a short story of it. Met Brandon along the way. And yeah. Now I'm here with you guys. It's great.
In the woods.
In the woods. Hoping I make it home.
With 4 dudes looking at you on camera.
It makes me very nervous.
You're like, this is an episode of Naked and Afraid.
I'm definitely both. I'm one of them. Gonna get there.
Yeah, you need some more whiskey.
All right, so y'all mentioned a little bit about some of the cool music shit y'all done together. Y'all want to talk about some of the stuff y'all done?
Well, I mean, I can start with we really got to be friends. I would say probably during the Waresville Hall chili cook-off, like those times.
Yeah, that's kind of foggy for me where it's like,
Say that
I
one
remember-
more time. The
The Waresville Hall. So Jonathan Jeter, his family started up this music venue. It's on the outskirts of Greenville, headed down 380.
to Celeste, right?
Yeah. And they started up this venue, and it's this cool little, it's almost like if you think of like a small Lukenbach is the feeling, right?
It's essentially a house concert.
Yeah. But
Hell yeah.
they had these 2 little stages out there, and they were getting, like large acts. 1100 Springs was out there. Jack Ingram played out there.
Jeter tells a story about Jack Ingram rolling in his Prevost in their backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they would do all these cool shows, and it was, kind of like, if we weren't doing anything, that's where we would kind of go and hang out, at Waresville. But they would do, every year, they would do this chili cook-off, and it was just the best event every year. And it would be all these people making chili, there'd be judging and all that kind of stuff, and then 2 stages all day long. And it would usually end with some sort of, larger headliner. Damn Quells, they did one year.
I think the first year I did it was I played the year the Quells played. But the first year I played, it was 1100 Springs. And it was early enough in 1100 Springs that Mark Resnick, who was from the Toadies, who played drums for the Toadies, was the drummer for 1100 Springs. And then not long after it, the Toadies got back together, so they lost their drummer.
Yeah.
And I remember just being blown away by, because Jeter always tells a story. He's like, yeah, where the stage is, a cow used to stand there. That was like, it was in a barn.
Yeah.
And they came in there and put this floor in. And, I mean, you're talking about some core memories out there at Waresville. It's amazing. It really was like this like quintessential like moment, I feel like.
Do they still do stuff out there?
No, they actually sold that house.
I was about to say, because the way y'all are talking about, I wish I'd have seen some of these events, but obviously
you're talking
quite a bit
about,
younger than y'all.
Like, they would have people come in and like sign their names on the beams of this place that
That's
were
so fucking cool.
like 7 feet tall, right? And you'd see Max Stalling. I love Max Stalling.
Mm-hmm.
Hayes Carl left his shirt there, and they stapled it to the wall.
I like Hayes.
Randy Rogers, Charlie Robinson, Jack Ingram, like heavy hitters, and they loved to play out there. Like, these guys still would they loved how Cindy would treat them.
Yeah.
And so they'd come out there and play.
Matt Coker wrote a Waresville Hall song.
Matt Coker, what a throwback.
Yeah, he wrote a song.
Dr. Matt Coker.
Yes, sir.
So now somebody just has this barn with all these names in there, and they probably don't even realize what they have.
They probably have no
They probably
idea.
painted over it.
They probably put cows back in there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they probably put cows over
What a
it.
shame.
What time frame was this?
I mean, they owned that house for as long as me and Jeter were friends that I can recall. So, I mean, they sold it probably 2 or 3 years ago, and they were doing shows. I mean, they did one last Waresville chili cook-off.
When I first heard about Waresville, I didn't know where it was, but I knew it was in Greenville. And that blew my mind that I was like, how did I grow up in Greenville and never seen this venue?
Right.
But just to date myself a little bit, I found out about it because Charlie Robinson was playing a show in Greenville on MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I heard about it.
Hell yeah.
And so, but it was at Waresville. I didn't know where that was. And so we're probably talking 2000, early 2000s to late 2010s,
Yeah.
11, something
Yeah.
like
This
that.
is when I was
At
like,
least that's when it was really active. Like
Really popping
Waresville
off,
was
yeah.
active.
this is
Yeah.
when I was in, like,
Where
middle
was
school.
Brandon on your top 10?
Well, Brandon, the
This
irony with
fucking guy.
Brandon is like I knew of Brandon
10.
before Brandon
Look at that.
knew about me because Brandon's like 4 years older than me. Brandon graduated high school with one of my sisters, and I knew who Callie's was, but I never met Callie's. And that's what's funny. It's like our relationship just kind of like naturally developed. You know, it's like I can't think of like the moment that Callie's like became a part of my life. He just like was there. You know?
Yeah, then we started
bad
all playing in the same bands.
Yeah.
Jonathan Jeter had a band called Old Bull Gaines that he was talking about a little while ago, and I got to the point where I was not gonna do it anymore, and then you came in and played bass for that band, and so we have just always played music in some capacity together, whether it's shows together or in bands together or replacing each other in bands.
I do think that was kind of a beautiful thing about Greenville, at least from my experience with Greenville and the music scene, was there was enough guys playing that everybody could kind of do their own thing, and it never felt like we were playing on top of each other, but we all still knew each other, you know, and so there was a very rich music community in Greenville.
And speaking of Greenville and going back to what Corey was saying with the Weathered Souls, how has that experience been going from playing just in Greenville to going with some people from Greenville and playing
Yeah,
some big
playing
stages?
everywhere.
It's been a lot of fun. Like I'm pretty new to the band still, and I joined the band in early September, and I like to tell people my first gig with the band was on the 23rd of September, and then on the 25th we left for a 40-day run. So it was like
That's
you know,
crazy, isn't it?
baptism by fire kind of situation, but it was great. I mean, like
I sent a Snapchat to Holden and Brock when you first got here and we were playing music, and they was talking shit.
yeah, we need to see that. Can you go and screenshot that?
I will. I'm recording right now.
Okay, good,
We'll
good.
take a video talking shit back in a minute.
Great. I'm gonna have to.
What's
Conference
the
call
coolest
them.
thing you've seen on that 40-day run?
Man, I'll tell you, my favorite venue we played was in Charlottesville, Virginia, and it was called the Jefferson Theater. It's like 100-year-old. It's a little over 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Harry Houdini had performed on that same stage. It's like a three-story. There's two balconies to it, right? Old room, slanted floor all the way down, hardwood floor all the way down to the stage. But to get from the back of the house to the front of the house, you have to go down a tunnel underneath the stage and walk out another door. So to go like back to the merch booth or whatever, you're like crawling. You're not crawling, but you're definitely walking low, and you can hear people dancing and like dust. You can see it falling. 'Cause it's like you see the planks that they're standing on, you know.
Is that Houdini's escape route?
That was his escape route. That was it. And they never found him. I found his bones, though, so it was kind of cool. I'm just kidding. But for whatever reason, that venue keeps, like, coming back in my mind. Anytime I think about that run was that Jefferson Theater show in Charlottesville.
It was just like a surreal moment.
Yeah, it was just so cool. You know, the whole room, like, we had a great crowd that night, and just the venue was so old and historic.
It was just a
And-
cool feeling.
Yeah, it was just, you know, such a cool time. But,
Oh yeah.
yeah, dude.
Do they have a ghost light there? On the
No,
stage?
but the House of Blues in Cleveland did, and nobody knew why I was there, but I did. I was
Those
stressing
ghost
me out.
lights, they like to really hype them up, and I'm creeped out every time I'm in a theater like that, an old theater, and they have a ghost light. I don't want to get near it. I'm afraid I'll accidentally like step on it and like turn it off.
Yeah, they definitely had one in Cleveland, and I remember seeing it and like, kind of like, I know why you're there. I know why you're there. It's a little stressful, but
I'm gonna ask the question. Explain.
So a ghost light, they keep a light on in the middle of the stage. It's a little light bulb on and like a micro.
could be like a lamp or
Yeah.
something,
Right.
You know.
Supposed to keep the ghosts away because like most of those older theaters supposedly are haunted.
Right. Well, yeah, I've heard about.
It's definitely like a superstition of like theaters. You know, it's like
but it's a well-known. Like,
this isn't a theater, so I can say
Yes.
this. Like in a theater, you're not supposed to say the word Macbeth. Did you know that? So it's supposed to be bad luck like during a play that you say Macbeth, because Macbeth is like a cursed play.
Right.
So you say like the Scottish play, and that's supposed to mean Macbeth or whatever. And so it's like one of those like old theater superstitions that
It's something that's been going around for forever.
yeah.
Got it. That's
So
cool.
if you
Learn
see a
something
theater,
every
they
day.
got a lamp on. It just
Don't-
means that they know that they're there.
Just
Hey.
don't go to the lamp.
So the Majestic in Dallas, go check that place out.
This lamp stays on all
During
the
the
time.
day, you know, like if there's nothing going on, that
Oof.
thing stays on all the time.
That's a spooky looking.
It's creepy. It
Yeah.
has,
I've been in the
there's a
Majestic
psychological
once.
aspect to it, you know.
I've been in the Majestic once. I'm gonna look for that now. Now that I know, that's cool.
Your dating life needs a light on.
Fuck off. I don't have a dating life, Josh. Don't. Y'all were all. One of y'all was about to say something.
I know. I'm like, I'm going
gonna-
through the
we're
Rolodex
just-
of things to say in my mind.
We're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on from all of that. Things that we don't need to say on the podcast.
So singer songwriter wise, that's its own lane, especially considering you play in a very successful band.
Yeah.
How is balancing the two, and how do you find time to do both?
Well, I mean, you know, honestly, since I've joined the band, I've really just kind of put all my focus on that. But then I had kids a few years ago, and so that changed my whole like vision for what I'm trying to do as a singer songwriter. I try to still find time to like put pen to paper, you know, and write songs and stuff. But Brandon and I feel like we've had this conversation too many times where it's like, you know, gigs as a singer songwriter are just like it's different, you
Mhm.
know. For me, I just try to still write songs and still enjoy playing. And if opportunities come available, I'm gonna take them. But you know, if Weathered Souls have a gig, hell, I'm gonna go play that. You know, so.
He started.
A little
he was,
different venue.
He was going down that path of really getting back into that singer-songwriter lane.
Mhm.
Like you released Papa's Place.
Yep.
You know, and it felt like I was stoked that you were kind of getting back in that lane, and then the Weathered Souls thing came up, which is amazing and very cool that happened. There's a part of me that does hope that you just keep on with the singer-songwriter thing.
You know, I always think I'm like a working musician, and I'm gonna work in the lane that I'm in, you know, and whatever lane is like got the traffic flowing, I'm just gonna stay there, you know. And the Weathered Souls opportunity came available, so you know, I wanted to kind of jump on that and focus on it. And you know, playing shows is fun as Cole Risner, you know, I'm playing like solo singer-songwriter stuff. And I don't know if I've ever had any like super mainstream success, but I've done enough as a singer-songwriter that I feel very confident in my abilities, you know. And so
Yeah, Red 11 came knocking.
Red 11, I won the LJT thing back in 2017, and so
That's awesome.
you know,
That's a big deal.
Oh,
Like,
elaborate on the LJT thing.
I grew up going to LJT, so I know like that's a huge
Well,
deal.
it was my second time doing it. I'd done it in 2015, I think. I'd you know, I don't know, submitted songs, and they're like, "Hey, you got submitted to be in the competition." And I remember the first week, I got eliminated the very first round. And in my round, there were 6 artists. At the time, it was Shotgun Rider, which is not really a band anymore, but they were popping off.
They have a massive following that wishes for that to come back.
That's the ones Gracie,
So it was
Texas Rain.
It was me, Shotgun Rider, Troy Cartwright, who's in Nashville now, Clado Cordero as a solo artist with a fiddle player. He hadn't started Flatland yet.
Yeah.
And there was 2 more, and I can't remember who they were. And that was my round alone.
Yeah, that's
you know, in a room that was this size.
Yeah.
And right when we're playing in a corner, I'm like, okay. And then a couple years later, I got the notion I want to do it again. And I mean, there was obviously great talent that comes through that. I think if you're an up and coming singer songwriter in the Texas music scene at all, you need to submit for the Larry Joe Taylor
Right.
songwriting contest. Even if it doesn't mean that you win, like I would still go back after I won and judge, right? Like anytime I just went out to Melody Mountain Ranch, Larry'd be like, "Hey, you want to be a judge? Great." That's how I met Gio. You know, there's guys out there I met all the time. I remember one time there's a guy who was standing at the bar and he had on a Cole Risner t-shirt.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. And I went up and patted him on the back and go, "Hey man, like that t-shirt." And he goes, "Thanks."
Didn't even know.
He had no idea.
no idea who the fuck you were.
I was like, okay, cool, dude. But you know, I think that's if for the Texas scene, for the Texas music scene, like that's a great opportunity, a great contest to be a part of.
That festival alone has just some crazy things for the
Wild.
music scene. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Just seeing people that used to be on the first stage, the beginning days headline or opening up for people that now headline for
Yeah.
them in multiple other fucking random places.
That's where I got to watch Cross Canadian Ragweed grow. Like I got to see them from the time they were like playing
God, I
on
wish I'd have been old enough for
Wednesday.
that.
They were playing on Wednesday when no one was there, nobody. And then by the end of my time, we went there every year. And by the end of my time, they were main stage, like couldn't see the end of the crowd. But the first time, like I said, it was like on a Wednesday when we were setting up camp, just got there, like they were nobodies.
Dude, I wish I'd have been old enough for Cross Canadian Ragweed's prime.
got
I
to
still watch
I got
Cody
to
Cannon in
watch
The
it.
Departed every chance I get because Cody's a cool fucking dude. I've had multiple conversations with him. Love the guy, but I wish I'd have been there for Ragweed's prime. I was younger. I'm a lot younger than everybody in this room,
Yeah,
as
no,
we
I
talked about in multiple episodes.
I got to watch it with a front row seat.
Fuck you.
Hey, Cole, real quick, speaking of them, do you remember that time that we played a cross-Canadian ragweed song at a Battle of the Bands in Texarkana, Texas?
Man, what a throwback, bro.
Ooh,
And we
what
lost. There was one band that played at that Battle of Bands. What song did we play?
We played Fighting For.
Yeah, Fighting For. There was one band that played, and every member of the band had on a Dallas Cowboys jersey and camo pants, right? And honestly, I think they placed higher than we did.
Oh, they did. Hey, and
Weird.
and
It's weird.
and here's a test because for whatever reason, here's how you know they have star power too. It's because I still remember their name. Do you remember it?
Please tell me, by all means.
All right, No Soraya.
Damn. I do know that one of the judges on his notes he wrote, which Jonathan Jeter, we were talking about, played guitar for that show. Man, Brandon, I'm so fucking proud that you, dude, brought it back, dude. One of the judges on his notes, he wrote, if you want to succeed, maybe you should start dressing like stars and less like oil field workers.
Yeah, because we were all wearing,
That's
We're
your.
wearing our
crazy.
clothes.
That's
We're
crazy.
regular clothes.
It's like Western T-shirts, but honestly, we got off and
it
we
was
were like,
quadrangle fest.
yeah, we thought, okay, that went well,
Sounded
and
great.
it was a lot of like there was a few like heavy bands,
Heavy.
yeah,
And one band came up and did like, I want you, poo, poo, poo. I
Yeah.
want you so bad.
Yeah.
That Beatles song.
I just remember it feeling very strange that there were all these like super heavy metal bands, and it was like in downtown Texarkana, outside. Like,
Oh shit.
I'm thinking it's gonna. Honestly, I thought everybody was gonna kind of be like we were, sort of Americana country-ish,
Right.
But that was not the case.
One of the guys that was the judge that day was Lucky Boyd.
Which is why you were like, we're gonna win this.
I
after
did. I was
hearing
like,
all
I
the
feel like
bands.
we'll do good because Lucky's here. And Lucky was like, y'all need to dress less like oil field workers. I'm like, I thought oil field workers looked cool. I was down for that.
Yep.
No,
That's like the epitome of that listening base.
that was what I was thinking.
Exactly.
Well,
These
the
aren't
irony,
regular clothes, Lucky.
the irony that Cole is talking about is that we were beat out by a heavy metal band that all were wearing different jerseys.
It's crazy.
But camo pants.
Yeah, and camo pants.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, like that 2002, 2008 period, there's a whole lot of Cowboys jerseys and camouflage pants.
I'm not shitting on it, okay?
sure.
I'm not saying it's the wrong move, all right? But I'm saying don't tell me. I'd like to see what their notes were if we were dressing like oil field workers. But that's
Yeah.
what it's going to be. Man, Brandon, dude.
Blast from the past, man.
Dude, I'm glowing.
All right, so Cole, as a singer-songwriter
Yeah.
or bass player for the Weathered Souls plus the other band,
Sure.
what do you see coming in the future?
Well, this year we've got some, we're working on some dates for the year and with Weathered Souls. I also play bass in a band called Brave Little Howl, which
There you
is drastically different from
Correct.
Weathered Souls. But I feel like as a musician, I'm a singer-songwriter, but I also like to feel that I'm a musician, know.
Correct.
And I want to play a bunch of different styles. We've got some, Brave Little Howl's got some shows coming up this year. They're trying to get on the books. We've got a couple shows. We've got one in at Club Dada, which I thought Dada closed down.
Oh no,
Really?
It's-
That's still around?
And that's what I'm saying, right, Mark?
Yeah,
Spoon-
I feel
Spoon
like
runs
that
it.
is old school.
Well, I knew they had closed it up for a while, but it wasn't like closed down. But it definitely was boarded up.
yeah.
And I don't know if they were like remodeling or whatever. So last time I played Dada was like 2016, I think, maybe 2015. So I'm excited to play that show. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
It will be fun. It's a cool spot.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play shows, take opportunities that are available, maybe play some house concerts. I always think that house concerts are like low key, like the best shows you can play.
Well, I got a list of open dates at 3 different venues right now, so I'm gonna talk to you when we're done with this.
Yeah, no, cut this podcast right now.
Let's get it.
Start seeing something else.
Three different venues. I was just loaded up with dates the last week
Hell
that I
yeah.
need to fill, so I'm gonna throw you on them.
Nice, I like that.
You can be playing back at the hangar.
Buddy,
it's,
I'll be there.
You know what? I'm gonna shout them out since we're still recording this because they're just throwing these dates at me, and I feel really blessed because it's what I've been trying to do for a while. It's Sidekicks Bar and Grill in Emory, Sideways Barbecue in Rockwall, and Sweetwater. I book for them full time. Sweetwater
Do
Grill.
you have any other band or like any venues that don't start with an S?
Dude, that's weird. Okay, so they're all.
Wait,
the
you got
same.
Sideways,
Sidekicks,
Sidekicks,
and Sweetwater.
and side pieces? Oh, wait.
When I first moved here,
That's
and
a different-
people,
that's a
I
different
confused
conversation.
them. I confused them all the time when people would say,
I didn't
somebody's
even
playing
realize.
at
I didn't even
Sidekicks.
realize that, but yeah, I do.
It's no coincidence he books for sidekicks. Just saying.
Why? Because you're my fucking sidekick.
I think it's the other way around. sir.
Here we go.
Oh,
Hey, what'd somebody tell you the other
"Who's
day?
Batman and who's Robin?"
What'd somebody tell you the other day? Aren't you on Corey O'Grady's podcast?
She was fucking 80. Like,
Hey, older the berry, sweet of the juice. Let's get it.
hey, but if she listens to podcasts and she's 80,
That's a hip 80-year-old.
hell yeah, dude.
he's gonna blow out her hip if y'all don't leave her alone.
She's got lots of land, so
Hey, if it's
Somebody's grandma's gonna need hip
That's my-
surgery
that's my
because
first
there's a
question when an
bootleg
older woman-
Morgan
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wallen
do you have
running
a
around.
hunting lease? Yeah.
an older woman approaches me, and anyway, how much land you got?
He's gonna show up in a fucking cowboy jersey and camo pants, talking about he's got game.
Corey's a walking meme.
I don't, dude. I didn't ask for this.
I didn't choose this life; it chose me.
I'm having a good time though,
Hey,
for the most part.
I want to go back to Brave Little Howl. So I'm blindsided by that. I didn't know anything about that project, so I wasn't able to look anything up. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Man, Brave Little
Please
Howl is
explain
like
that
it's like an indie. We're very much an indie rock band. You can come to a Brave Little Howl show and just sit there and take it in, right? And there's kind of like a flow and a movement to that show. I've been fortunate enough to play in enough bands to where it's like there's some bands I've played in. You walk in, you're like, hey, you know what? We're gonna have a barn burning time, right? Drink some beer, have a good time. Brave Little Howl is kind of like that, but you could also come and just like listen to the show, take in the lyrics, take in the musicality of the whole experience, and it feels very like palatable. But there's very much like an ebb and flow to it. I think Brandon could probably speak better in that
Yeah,
situation.
I mean that band is any musician's favorite band. It's like all the musicians go watch Brave Little Howl. It's just very, very impressive. Everybody in the band is really good at what they do. There's great like 3-part harmonies throughout the entire thing. Like everybody sings, and there's not a slouch in the band. I mean, and Brave Little Howl holds a special place in my heart. So me and my wife got engaged at a Brave Little Howl show. It was worked into the show. So
And just as much as like there's
Wow.
moments of the show where it's like soft and kind of like intimate and you're kind of like drawn in, there's moments where it feels like loud rock chaos. Not just like rock and roll. It's like I don't know what's being thrown at me right now. And I've really enjoyed playing in that band. It stretches me as an artist and as a musician, so
Who all's members of this band?
So most of the guys are from the Greenville area. Some guys are kind of like, they live there now, and they're like by way of other areas. We've got Mark Atkinson, who's an old Greenville guy who plays lead guitar, and then Billy Hale sings. Those two guys kind of write the primary songs and everything. Josh Miller is a keyboard player that lives in Greenville now. Is from the Rockwall area, right down the road. Corey Pfeiffer, the most charming individual you'll ever meet in your entire life. Plays drums. You got Clay Friddle, who's like our auxiliary stud. You know, Mark likes to say
He's a stud.
he's the good looking member of the band. You know, and then I just stand over there and play bass. And if you sit at a table or if you're standing near me at all, you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah,
'Cause
bass and jokes.
I'm gonna talk to you individually, right? Like, hey, you'll like this song.
Yeah.
If they got Josh and Corey in the band, they got to be pretty good, right?
Do y'all know Josh and Corey?
No, but we're Josh and Corey. So.
Oh, I just caught that. Great, yeah. Josh and Corey are great in the band. Yeah,
Josh fucking sucks.
Corey sucks. I don't know who you are, Corey.
y'all both sound like Josh.
But
and
if
Corey.
y'all are
That's great.
anything like us, Corey sucks.
Well, I'm like to be like the glue of the rhythm section. You know,
So you admit
That's
that
that's what a bass player's supposed to be.
I try to be even kill.
See, there you
Right, you know what I mean.
go. Fuck yeah.
I'm not gonna
bass-
sing. I'm
The
just
bass
stand
is
back
the
here.
most important thing.
Thank you.
That is
Everybody
what I-
overlooks
hey,
the bass player.
Y'all
Thank you.
calm
That's
down.
what
Look at
I've-
Callie's is over here glowing right
I know.
now.
It makes me feel good.
That
But
is
hey,
my-
that meme we sent in the group chat the other day about the bass player on a date with a blow up doll. Is that
it hurt his
You see
feelings.
my
it did hurt
comment?
his feelings.
It's like I feel
no.
attacked.
Like, just over the years, I've always noticed, like there's people that with a certain affinity for playing bass. One
They're
of my
never
best good friends in
appreciated.
the whole world, Millard Hasbrook,
Oh,
phenomenal musician. Brandon here, bassist. Millard, bassist. You're a bassist.
hell yeah,
But y'all
bro.
are also singer-songwriters. So
There's
I don't
an
know what
element
the
to it.
correlation is there, but apparently being a bass player, I don't know.
So,
Just-
you say that,
talented.
and then you got bass players like Papa for Zach Romo, and he completely just breaks that mold.
Dude, Papa is a fucking.
Papa's a fucking animal.
Yeah,
That's because his
he's
dance moves are
insane.
half of it.
That is the thing about Papa, and it's so cool, honestly, to see that band play. And there's this one guy that stands out, but you are really focused on him because the way
He's
that
like-
he performs.
He's like a in-band mascot. Like
He's great.
he is. He's like people show up to just watch him, and he's not. He'll even tell you he's not the greatest bass player.
No, he's
He
not
is-
a good bass
he's
player.
the
He even
most-
said it on the podcast.
He is the most entertaining to watch in the band. Like it
Love it.
doesn't matter. He's gonna get down.
Well, bass though is one of those instruments. Like if you remove it, you'll know.
Yeah.
Immediately, you'll be like, "What's wrong with this song?"
Oh yeah.
He said that.
But
day
when it's in there, everybody listens to the whole song their whole life. They'll listen to.
But you
whatever
don't notice
song,
That's the
And they'll just
thing.
be like, "What are you talking about? What bass line?"
Yeah.
Well, Paco was trying to explain to my wife. 'cause
Pablo?
Pablo. My wife, for whatever reason, she can never really hear the bass, and I think that's a lot of folks. They don't.
That's
if
from
you
her
don't-
tuning you out.
Maybe. But Paco was trying to explain to her what to listen to, and he said, "Well, you'll know when the bass isn't there because the sexy's taken out of it."
Yeah, dude. It's like a rumble. It's like
Yeah.
you don't hear it, but you just like kind of feel it. But it's also like a subconscious like feeling.
Yeah.
You sound like Taco Bell.
I think.
Y'all want to go get some crunch wrap?
Hey, man.
Hey, 5-layer burritos. Let's go.
Quesadilla.
I think you can vouch as like a singer-songwriter. It's cool to have that background because you're doing like the rhythm, but you're also writing. You've got an instrument that you can create melody and a hook with as well as the rhythm. And I think that songwriter mentality plays in because you're trying to write something that's memorable on bass. It's not just playing random notes.
Yeah, I definitely think that bass is just underappreciated.
Always.
That's coming from both sides of it.
Always.
Being in front of the bass player and being the bass player.
And like I said, if the bass player wasn't there, you would notice. But it's not noticed. Was it?
Not when I'm playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
see? There we
Or
go.
Brandon.
Yeah, sexy's gone.
That's also, Papa, if you watch this episode, I would like to say I was just reiterating what you said.
No, he said you.
When I said you weren't a good bass player, you told me you weren't a good bass player. You learned the notes they told you to learn. You told me that directly.
Well, he's a good bass player.
He's a great bass player.
Yeah, that's their only responsibility. Play the notes
had to
you're
say that.
supposed to play.
I would ask.
A million questions.
I have always been curious about Watched in the Blues, where that came from.
All right, I'll tell you
Yes,
exactly.
that was
how it
fucking
goes.
beautiful.
Thank you. So, one of my very close friends is a guy named Tyler Martin, and he's a guitar player. He plays in a band called Grady Spencer and the Work.
I love that fucking band.
Bro, he's the left-handed guitar player you hear, and he I mean, he's my first call. If I have to go to the studio, I'm calling Ty, because Lefty is like on point. He has those sensibilities about, he has the ability to play anything, but he has the sensibilities to not play if he doesn't need to. And so he was over at my house one time intentionally for a songwriting session. And we were at that moment in the day where we're like, it's like, you know, songwriting's kind of like digging a hole in the ground, you know? It's like we're standing there, we're holding our shovels, and we're like, all right, what are we going to do now, you know? And he started noodling this guitar riff, and I said, what is that? What is that? What's that progression? He goes, I don't know. I'm just like playing it. And that's the progression I play through the song.
Right.
And I was like, can I have that? Can I write a song with that? And we do a co-write. Even if I was like, do you teach me those chords, and I'll put lyrics over it, and it'll be a co-write. He's like, yeah. So he taught me the chords, you know, taught me these interesting ways to play chords. I thought I was playing a normal way, and he told me, like, you know, some cool ways. And honestly, that song took me like an hour, right? It was like one of those that just kind of pours out of the sky. And the idea of like this blues song, it's like, well, what's the root of a blues song? You know, I'm not a blues guy. I don't really listen to blues music, but maybe my girl, like, maybe she gave me the blues. I was like, oh, maybe she taught me the blues. And so it was like,
yeah.
it just kind of like started pouring out. And I was like, Tyler, I can't wait for you to hear this shit, brother. You know, it's like,
So I guess my question would be, would you say that Tyler taught you the blues?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Hey, that's pretty
Oh,
deep.
my.
I'm gonna call him tonight. He's my baby. You know,
He's
he
my-
taught me the blues. That's I haven't thought of it like that. Yeah, he
That's
he
dope.
definitely did.
I think he just brainwashed you.
That was cool as shit you brought up Grady Spencer in the works, because I have a playlist called Sad Boy Hours. It's like 500 hours of sad music, and a lot of people follow my playlist.
Oh,
Continually add music to it, and I heard music from them, and I downloaded like 3 or 4 of their songs, added them to my playlist, and everybody's like, who the fuck are these people? I was like, dude, somebody sent me this song.
I'll
I
tell
had
you,
no idea who they were, and I listened to a lot of their other shit, and I was like, it's beautiful.
you need to go see Grady Spencer. You need to go see them play live for the fact of, I mean, Grady's an amazing guy.
Right.
He writes amazing songs. Hold on.
He's got a few
And a
really
burp.
good sad songs.
Y'all,
He's got a
Y'all-
few
y'all
really
can
good
leave that
sad
in.
songs.
We're not going to cut it.
We don't cut shit.
Man.
leave it in.
They leave me fucking the
I'm
intro
gonna-
up every time.
I'm
Hey,
gonna fart soon too, so get ready.
I will let it be known I didn't fuck this intro up.
Unfortunately.
So
Yeah, you
Grady is
then now you fucked up the one thing you are known for.
If I do it every time, they're gonna think I do it on purpose. And I genuinely don't. Y'all see my fucking face every time I fucking intro up.
Nah, dude, we all clap like the Special Olympics.
I'll start. Y'all clap us in. It gets quiet, and I look at y'all as I'm doing the intro. And that's what fucks me up because y'all are like, "What's he gonna fuck up?"
Yeah.
You did good, Corey.
Thank you.
Anyways, what I was saying is you gotta go see.
Yeah, sorry.
You gotta go see Grady.
I don't know how we got.
Grady's a great guy. He writes amazing songs. He's an amazing performer. He draws you in. But his band supports him in such a way that those guys have known each other for years. So their sensibilities about the way Johnny plays, the bass player, to Tyler, it's like they know what they're going to play.
They just
They-
feed off each other.
They feed off each other, and they're amazing musicians. So it's like you got to go check them out. They're really good. They had a great show recently at Green Hall. They didn't sell it out, but I know they packed it out.
No, I've listened to actually every song I think that they have on Apple Music. So
We played with them. I played with them at the Blue Light back in August
Mhm.
of last year, and it was such a great time. I never been to the Blue Light before. That place turned the fuck up.
my thing with Grady Spencer and them like is like you remember how y'all were talking about earlier about Hastings? Y'all would like one song off an album.
Mm-hmm.
Buy the record because you knew that one song and y'all would listen to everything through it.
Yep.
I'm obviously younger than all y'all, so I just download all the music now. But
No.
I heard that one song by them and I just listened to everything else that they had to offer because I was like, I like the shit out of this song. And I mean that's what I do with a lot of artists.
I wish more people would have that that kind of drive to listen to the full record. You know, because I still believe that like an artist when they release a record, there's intent right? You know, with every song that they put on there in what order they put them in. That like, if you listen to that record, there's supposed to be like
It's a story.
It's an ebb and flow to it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
For sure.
And,
I'm a sucker for good songwriting.
Yeah.
Therefore, if I hear one song that paints a fucking picture in my mind, I'm gonna listen to everything this person's written.
But for me, it's like good albums. It's like I want to go back and listen to like a full album. Like I want to go watch a
And
full
see how
season of a TV show.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's like I want to
Exactly.
dive in
That's
from
my
1 to
life right
10
there.
That's,
or 1 to
that's
12 or
really
whatever.
fucking. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Man, I
I
think
didn't think other people did that.
I think the music industry screwed up albums.
I think Spotify did.
Well,
and-
I think it was way before that because
Can we blame Apple?
Well,
Why we
they-
gotta go
they were-
straight-
Hey! I'm an Apple Music guy.
You know what I mean?
the meat
We
of,
could
of
tell.
the album and what it means and all the, like some of the songs connected it, and then there'd be an obvious filler song. And that was
Well, it's
some-
okay. So
That was some dude in a suit that was just like, "Hey, we need a song right here, tracks."
We need to sell one.
Yeah, we need this to be 14 tracks long. You know,
there's one album that tells exactly what we're talking about right now. It's actually a Kendrick Lamar album, the Good Kid, Mad City album he put out.
Okay.
The entire album has small little spots in between each songs that like tells a story the whole way through. So if you listen to the entire album front to back, it's like watching a movie.
Yeah, I love that record.
I
great.
love the shit out of
Yeah.
that record.
I still think Tyler Childers' Country Squire, even if you're not a full fan of the record, it's a
Yeah.
fun listen because each song might be in a different key, and at the end of each song, he does like a transition into that key,
and they're all
and then
connected.
it kind of like feels like you're listening to one song.
Progressive.
It's like
Exactly.
you're listening to one song the whole time.
Yeah.
You know. Plus, we don't remember like the fucking CDs. It's like if I bought Wicked Twisted Road, the Reckless Kelly record,
Fucking love records.
that when you open it up, it's a board game.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that? And there was a little dice inside the CD, like the blank space at the like the bend of the CD, and so you could open up the liner notes of this CD and play a board game, and there was a little dice, and you'd use that as your shaker to play the game. Right, so it's like that whole element of having the like tangible CD.
It's
in
gone.
hand.
To open it up to see the lyrics.
I still do it.
That's where you got the lyrics.
You have the whole
open
you
it
have the whole
up
flip
and-
book in a CD case with all the lyrics to every
Yeah.
song.
Pat Green's live at Green Hall. I did that.
It's the beautiful thing about the vinyl resurgence, though. I mean, that
Agreed.
people listen to records now, and so that packaging is still like that. People get creative, and
I do wish, and I know this would be so hard, I wish that they would do the vinyl records in the CD style case. So it's like
like a
you have
giant
a
plastic.
like a giant laser disc.
It's like the
Dude,
whole
that'd be
thing.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude. And you can see what the record is like on the spine. You
Well,
know?
when that happens, I'll remember this conversation.
Dude, that could be a patent.
Who's that guy? Cole Risner, I think he
Yeah,
came up with
that
that.
sounds like they know who I'm
Tall
talking.
Tales and Whiskey.
Yeah. So while we're on that, where's the best place to get vinyl these days?
There's a place in Dallas called Good Records, but the local spot, there's one in Greenville, Texas, that is top
shit.
notch. Yeah, it's called Vandango Records, and he has no social media. He fights it tooth and nail, but it's on Main Street, right across the street from the Texan, and that dude can get anything that you want. I mean, that shop is amazing, and he'll learn your taste. I mean, there's stuff I'll walk in there to get something that I want, and he'll be like, "Have you heard this, this, this?" And there'll be 3 different genres, and he nails it every time. Like, I don't get it.
You've heard of bartenders and bud tenders. Don't you want like a music tender?
That's him.
A guy who like knows what you want.
This
I
is
feel like that's a
that's him.
lost
Guy.
art.
Yeah, that's a particular taste, like individually crafted.
Bill from Bill's Records and Tapes.
Yeah, but that's he's a younger Bill. Like, that's his thing, man. Like, he sort of prides himself on absorbing. He listens when you're talking to him, you know. So
Well, shout out to them.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, especially
Vandango in Greenville, Texas,
Downtown?
downtown, right across from the Texan.
Hell yeah.
I like that.
And then Waterloo Records in Austin. I can't.
If
No,
can
you
make it sure.
You got to say that one.
But you got Josie Records too. That's a warehouse,
that's a good one.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's that one record shop off of like 635 and like almost to where you're coming up to Harry Hines in Dallas. It's like basically under the express lane now. It's an older building right there on the right. I can't remember what the fuck it's called though. Nobody knows what I'm talking
I don't
about.
know.
I went in that record shop one time and I was like, this is insane.
I always liked Bill's for the sake of what Bill's Records and Tapes was, but like you take all your records to Bill, and he'd be like, "All right, it's $130." You're like, "God,
Really?
Bill?" Yeah, it was so.
Oh, we round that up to 400.
Yeah, come on, Bill. Jeez.
The GameStop of records.
Yeah, dude, it was.
I miss Sam Goody. We had
I remember Sound Warehouse.
and it's all gone.
Hastings, man. I still think
Fucking
Hastings.
Hastings.
The element of like
Hastings.
being able to go to somebody and be like, "Hey, can you order this CD for me?"
Dude, they got in the vinyl game at the last minute. Like before they shut down, they got into that whole record.
I remember just rolling through that $5 bin and like just getting records from people that are like, I don't know who this is, but I'm just gonna take it because I think the record looks cool and I have no other way to find new music. Right? It's
Yeah.
like I'm gonna take this.
Oh yeah, I got
think-
some clear it spin records that were rad. Have you ever heard of Clay Davidson?
No.
For like 5 cents, so good.
I think Hastings is something that everybody kind of took for granted when it was here,
Mm-hmm.
and like collectively as a complete country, everybody's like, "I wish we would not let that go."
He don't remember Hastings. You remember?
No, I remember Hastings. I'm
He
old enough. I remember Hastings.
He
I was a
remembers
kid
being
in there.
next door at Claire's getting
No,
one
I
ear
was-
pierced.
I was a kid in Hastings, but I remember Hastings. Probably
Billy
not like
Hutton.
y'all do, but I still remember like the way that
He was at Hot
it felt when
Topic
you walked
singing
in, but it
emo
was cool as
songs.
shit. For music, for everything. They had everything for music in there. And
Yeah.
CDs, vinyl records, fucking everything. And the whole electronic age came out, and all that shit was just gone.
Yep.
And I didn't get to experience that because I was too young to soak it in.
I used to ride my bike
So fuck y'all.
from 1570 near L3
God.
all the way to Hastings because my parents wouldn't let me buy Pantera records because they had custom.
Fucking A.
Bro,
So
you
I
showed
rode
up,
my bike.
you showed up sweating.
But then you gotta hope that the clerk is gonna let you buy this thing that says parental advisory on it because I'm like 13. I looked 13. Like I didn't look like I was older. And sometimes they'd be like, "All right, it's the best. That'd be the best day ever.
If they fucked with Pantera, they'd be like, just take it.
Just take it. You need this. You need this, boy."
yeah.
Here, kid.
It's gonna change your
Here's
life.
some hope for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
America.
All right, Cole. This has been a super interesting episode. We had a lot of great conversations.
Well, great.
It was a good time. Hopefully we're gonna talk after we're done with this, and we're gonna book you some shows.
That'd be great.
Where can everybody find you on social media?
Yeah.
Well, Cole Risner. Pretty much that's it. At Cole Risner.
Cole Risner.
Yeah.
Put some
Cole-
respect
Cole
on his
Risner.
name.
There's some Cole Risner up in Ohio or Michigan
That
or
guy
something
sucks.
like that. Yeah, he does suck. 'Cause he's got the Twitter of at Cole Risner, and I messaged him one day. I was like, "Hey man, you think I get that? You think I can get that handle?"
Was he a dick
I'll
about
give
it?
you $10.
Bro, I was like, "No." I told him, I said, I'll send you some merch. I'll send you some Cole Risner merch. So basically, merch with your own name on it, right? He's like, "Sounds great." Guess what he did?
Blocked you.
Ghosted me. I was like, I want that at Cole Risner Twitter. I want it, dude.
You should have kept your ghost light on.
I should have kept it on. Yeah, at Cole Risner, Instagram. The Twitter, I think, is the Cole Risner.
It's X now.
No, I think it's Cole Risner TX now.
Sorry, I run the Sweetwater Grill Twitter page. I had to do Sweetwater GRIL and then a capital I, so you couldn't tell that it wasn't another L. Because there's some person, it's like an old lady on the picture that it says Sweetwater Grill. I have no idea who it is, and I've reported the page, and I've had all my friends report the page, and it won't get deleted.
Is her name Sweetwater?
I guess so. I don't fucking know.
I bet I've
the
tagged
account hasn't
that
been
before.
active. The account hasn't been active in like 8 years.
That's that lady he blew out her hip.
Oh, damn. Yeah, but he's got a great hunting lease.
Two-stepping.
He's
Just
got a
two-stepping
great-
for all the kids out
Yeah.
there. They're
Freezer's
listening.
always full.
They exchanged pearl necklaces.
Look, that wasn't supposed to be talked about out loud.
As an after podcast conversation.
Yeah, jeez. Swear the cameras are cut off.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Thank you. Our favorite word. Other than cum, apparently, on the Luke LaPrade episode. Jesus. But all right, Cole, it's been a good time.
Well, now
Thanks
that
for
you're
having
good
me.
at it, but wrap this up, Corey.
All right, Cole Risner,
Yeah.
appreciate you coming out. We had a good time tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of True Tall Tales and Whiskey.
Mama taught me to sing. My daddy taught me how to be a man. Life taught me how to get back up when I didn't think I could stand. Granddaddy taught me how to fish and how to tie my shoes. But my baby taught me the blues. For days I've wondered where you've been, and if you ever gonna come back home, or if I'll hold you again. I'm not gonna make you have to choose, so I'll just wait here, walking in the blues. Darling, you don't know what I do for you. Instead you run around on me, break down these chains, go of the reins, and finally set me free. You can call me a dreamer, or you can call me a fool, or you can call me crazy, baby, for waiting on you. And you hold my heart, and I got nothing to lose. 'Cause my life now is washed in. Yes, my life now, well, it's washed in. Yeah, my life now is washed in.